Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the High School Fan Zone on a Monday night. We're going to jump into the Matador Fan Zone with my friend Tony Wagner. If you're watching on TV to my left, you know who he is because he's been around. You're not in Jill Schneider territory. You've not been around that long, but what year is this at Estacado?
This is year 24.
24, and how many years as a head coach?
17, I believe, 17 or 18. I've lost count. It's either 7. It's one of those. 2007 was my first year. So.
And we can talk a little bit about this because it's in the rearview mirror. Just crossed 500 wins earlier this season. Jill just went over 750 and the state championship game was number 751. She's been hiding that from people too. So
I feel her on that. That could be a huge distraction for your kids. They start wanting to play for other reasons other than to get it done.
In fact, the week that you got your milestone, I texted Paige to ask him how many of those had come against Paul Page, the friendship coach, how many of your wins had come against him. And then I said, wait, how many of you won? He said, well, I'm about to get to 500, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So you guys, you're contemporary. You both had really good teams this year. His team got knocked out last week by Denton Geyer. Estacado did not get knocked out. The Matadors are playing in the state semifinals for the first time since 2012.
Yes, sir, 2012. It doesn't seem that long, man. And, it just goes to show, like I told our kids, man, that time flies. You just never know if you're going to get back there and win, so you got to appreciate the moment.
Because you've had really good teams throughout the last 13 years, but this one is special, and they've found a way. You guys are winning. You're besides the fact that you lost one of your senior guards and your heart and soul along the way, you guys have played really well. I talked to Shakur Wilbon and Armand Ward today about how you guys have that wound has closed. You guys have really adjusted well.
Well, we're still adjusting. I mean, I wouldn't say closed, but we put some pretty good stitches in it.
There you go.
But I think each game they've gotten better and better, more comfortable because they know he's not going to be in there, and so. There's nowhere to turn because what we got is here, So they've embraced that, and they're really starting to, like, today was a great practice. Today was outstanding, and it was one of the better ones where people are getting to spots and getting used to being in positions that they hadn't played for extended minutes before.
I didn't know this. Armand said he's been a point guard pretty much since he's been playing, but he's kind of shifted to a different role because of Tim.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that, but it takes a little bit to knock some rust off when you're not.
Yeah, I mean, for us, he's played the 2 and the 3 all year, for us, and he backs, like when Tim's out, he brings the ball up, and so, but to play it for 18, 20, 24 minutes a game, it's a different kind of conditioning too. It's one thing where I can just run to my spot and get set up to run an offense. It's another thing to have to dribble to dribble the length of the court every possession and still get everybody in the offense and still know what to do. And so, but he's handled it extremely well, and we benefited from it.
Well, we're going to talk about how much different the challenge is Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. at Wichita Falls Legacy High School. Tony Wagner gets to take a team home for the state semifinals against number 1 Dallas Kimball. I said this to your guys. People could say they've got to play number 1. Well, number 1's got to play number 5, so It's not like they're not breezing into this either. It's going to be. I'm excited to watch that because you don't see that at this stage. I guess you do at this stage. You should be seeing 2 really good teams. So we'll talk a lot about that in a minute, but I want to, before we get off of you guys, Shakur, for being a sophomore, first of all, he's a very mature when you sit there and talk to him. I know you probably have some different sides of him that you see I've got a junior at home, so I can kind of vouch for knowing kids a little bit, but he doesn't get rattled on the court. Watching him play has been very fun because he's very emotionless or expressionless and just goes about his business and does it well. He does it well.
I mean, but I don't think people see how hard he work away from the gym. Like Shakur is always in the gym. He's the last one to leave every day after the period. He stays and makes 50 to 100 shots. Within that 10 to 15, 20 minutes he has for lunch, and so. And he's just bearing the fruit of his labor, and he's only going to get better and better. I think he's going to grow. He probably end up being 6'3", 6'4" before it's all done. And if that happens, man, we'll be sitting here a couple more times, I think, because I think Andre Langston and Big V, people don't understand Big V's very talented, basketball player.
He's nimble. Yeah. I'm not sure people understand that.
Yeah, and so, I think, we're losing a lot of guys, but, we got some great guys coming in too.
What's it say on the back of the warm-up?
TNG. And
what does it stand for?
Transition never graduates.
Nick Long got the biggest kick out of that when he found out what that meant, just as only Nick Long can, the Matador's radio voice. Mm-hmm. I know I saw something earlier. Dallas Kimball is 26-5, but I looked at their schedule. Some of the teams they've played has been pretty. It's amazing. You guys have played a great schedule too. That neither team is here by accident. So we're coming up on the break. We'll come back and talk more about the Estacado State Semifinal game Tuesday night on the Matador Fan Zone. This is 100.7 The Score, and I'm Randy Rosetta.
Diving headfirst into Estacado athletics. You're listening to the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the second segment of the Matador Fan Zone. I'm with the Estacado coach, Tony Wagner. Brad Bibb was here, and I slipped this in. He said, I'm here with two legends tonight because Jill Schneider's coming on talking about her state championship. I know you don't like to hear that word, but your players, when they talk about you with reverence, maybe a little fear. But when I talked to the two of them today, I said, has Coach changed this week? Has he done anything different? And they said, oh, no, it's the same. And I told them one thing, getting to know you through the years, every week I could say to you, how are you going to prepare for this? How do you get a team ready to face number one Dallas Kimball? And usually what you tell me is we're just going to be us. We're going to do what we do.
Yeah, we're just going to go out and just try to be us and be disciplined. I feel like if we block out, don't turn the ball over, and don't have a fear factor. I thought for today was too much respect breeds fear. And then I asked them what they felt like that mean, and so some of them hit it and some of them didn't understand. I said, you can respect someone and feel like they're good, but once you respect them to the point to where you're afraid to do what you do best, then you respect them too much. And so we talked about that a little bit today and telling them that, they're the same age and there's going to be pressure on them too, mm-hmm. because everybody expects them to go out there and be great. So if we can go out there and be overly competitive, not glad to be there, but act like we belong there, then I feel like they'll become stiff as well. And so it's just one of those things where I'm excited for our guys. I can't wait to see how we compete.
And it won't be, I don't get the sense it'll be too big for you guys because of the schedule you've faced. I'm going to call it up real quick because I didn't realize this until you told me you've played a bunch of the teams in the top 10 and 4A in the TBAC rankings as well. You played Friendship here in town. You played Trinity Christian here in town. You played and you take on anybody who'd step on the court with you, so that helps your guys.
That was a goal. I knew this team could be special, and so I wanted to find out about them as much as possible. We went to Dallas and played West Mesquite and all those teams like down there, and we played DeSoto there, which we had DeSoto beat, and so I think that gave our guys a lot of confidence, and to let them know that they can play with anybody in the state. Then we played Friendship, and we played Trinity here in Brownfield, who's a top 5 team in their division. Slayton, who made it to the state semifinal. I mean, at one point last week, I think we had 6 or 7 teams still playing from our schedule. And that's tough. I don't know. There's a lot of schedules like that around where they can say, okay, I still got 6 or 7 teams playing in the 4th round of the playoffs. And
you didn't mention Dallas Carter. You played Dallas Carter in the Caprock, that's from the same district as Dallas Kimball. That's the team they beat to get to the state semifinals. They beat them pretty handily, but 2 games against Dallas Carter earlier were very competitive.
Yeah.
So that's. I don't know if you point that out to your guys. You say, look, Dallas Carter, because you guys were right there with Dallas Carter. They got motivation from an injury to one of their better players. That's just the mindset of a high school player sometimes. How do Dallas Kimball and Dallas Carter compare?
I just think Kimball's older. They got more seniors. I think they're going to graduate 5 seniors. But at the end of the day, everybody out there is 18 years old and younger. And our guys, I want them to go compete no matter what. I don't care. I haven't even mentioned that those guys have signed with Division I schools because I don't care. I want our guys to go out and compete as hard as they can. And I feel like if we do those things, we'll be in the game and have a chance to win it.
Now, obviously, you guys are different without Tim, but the other side of that, you're different because I've mentioned this to you before. Bobby Ross is a basketball player. He's not just a football kid.
And
out
he's
there
looking forward to it, man. They got a big that's super athletic. I mean, he's a freak athlete, and he's committed to UAB, and Bobby's already tired of hearing about it. He's ready to see what the fuss is about, and I'm proud of that. And I'm ready to see. I don't want anyone to think that we're going in there just to be happy that we're there. We're going in there to win this game, get to the state championship, and win another one. That's our goal. And whoever's in the way is in the way. And so, and that's how we've been preparing. That's how we've been talking. That's how we've been speaking that into existence with great confidence and not just saying it, going out and putting in the work to try to achieve it.
And I'll say it again. Yes, Estacado's playing the number 1 team in the state. The number 1 team's got to play the number 5 team in the state, and it probably should be up there a little bit higher. Probably a little bit biased from watching you guys and knowing what you've accomplished. But you coach long enough. Jill Snyder's coming on long. It's the first time she got to coach in a state championship game. I'm going to get her to talk about her, and Carol Foster's coming with her, one of her old sidekicks. I don't want to say old, long-time sidekicks.
Yeah, former pioneer.
Yep. She waited a long time to get there. You've been there a few times. It doesn't get old for the coaches either, though.
It doesn't get old for the coaches, and then you get more motivated because after going first in time and then going back and then winning and then going back and getting kind of upset. You just know what to expect and how to get your kids prepared and what to expect. Like this week has been crazy. People bringing food by for our kids to eat during lunch. Donating different things for them. That they haven't seen in a while. And I'm telling them, when you start being successful, people start wanting to do things for you. And so I turned it into a life lesson. The harder you work, the better reward. And so if you take this same thought process into how you live your life and how you do things the right way, then these are going to be the rewards for you in the future.
The last thing, you've mentioned this several times. I asked you about going back, but it's different for you because this is a different group of guys. The love and care you have for your guys, you want to see them succeed. It's not you're not there, but you're not excited because you're going back. You're excited because they're going the first time.
Right. And I tell them I got to go to the state tournament every year because I'm on the all-state committee. And so we go down there and we go to these meetings and we pick the all-state teams and stuff. So I got to go regardless. But boy, it's nothing like going with your guys, and sleeping in a hotel and making sure they ain't sneaking out. Those things are fun, and so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Well, and they get their chance to get back to state Tuesday night, 7:30 at Wichita Falls Legacy, Estacado, Dallas, Kimball. This is Randy Rosetta. We'll be back on the High School Fan Zone after the break with the Westerner Fan Zone.